Hi, ladies. It's Monique with Boundaries for Women, and I'm here to remind you that you're worthy of love and respect. And I say it at the beginning of the video every time now because it's the reason that I started this page, and it's the reason I started the Facebook page and then decided to start making videos. So, I just want to talk a little bit about what it is possibly that is stopping you if you're in a toxic relationship. You know you're in a toxic relationship. You're possibly in a narcissistic abuse situation. Why it is that it's so hard for you to leave. Why it is that it's so hard to get out. Now, there can be many reasons in the exterior. It could be financial. It could be that you have no idea where to go. It could be that you don't necessarily feel like you have a support system, that if you were to try that, what would happen. And there's a lot of fears, very valid fears. You may be afraid of what might happen to you if you do that, repercussions or, just a lot of fear that's around that. But I want to talk a little bit about something that's on a deeper level and what can keep a person stuck in narcissistic abuse. And if you haven't heard about it before, maybe this will be the first time. So there's a thing called Stockholm Syndrome. And Stockholm Syndrome, that the term for that, the reason that was coined is that syndrome or situation is because there was a time where there was a hostage situation in Stockholm, and these people were in a bank and they were being held hostage, and the people that were holding them hostage, I guess they were there for a significant amount of time. I don't know if it was days or weeks, but ultimately they were in a situation where they were with these hostages, and there were women, obviously, that were working there, and they were being held hostage. And some of the women that had been held hostage by these people who were putting their lives in danger ended up, unbelievably, falling in love with their captors and marrying them. And so, psychologists studied into this and like what could possibly cause that, and what is that? What's that about? And what it's about is that there's something called intermittent reinforcement. And that means that someone could be abusing you, and they could be repetitively doing certain things. They could be emotionally abusing you, physically abusing you, sexually abusing you on any level, mentally, spiritually, whatever, sometimes all of it. And I hope to God that you're not dealing with all of it, but all of them are harmful. They're all harmful, and they're all intolerable. And what happens is a person with intermittent reinforcement is that they may do a lot of horrible things to you, but every once in a while they do something really sweet, or they do something really kind, or they do something that's so lovely that it's like, wow, no one's ever done that for me. And there's something that you're receiving or experiencing that's like, wow, it's like almost like your dream come true in those moments. Until the other foot drops, and then, or the other shoe, or whatever that saying is, and then here we go again with the abuse. And so what it does is it creates this almost like a reward system in the brain, where it's as if your brain is almost like waiting and hoping for that next reward, that next moment where you're feeling like, oh, but they're nice sometimes, and surely that's coming again. And that being nice sometimes is where the hook is. It's that you may go through horrible things. They may have like beaten you. They may have beaten you with words or physically beaten you, done horrible things to you. But then here they come with, flowers, or here they come with this thing that you've been wanting them to do for the last 5 years, and suddenly they do that thing. In the hostage situation, in the bank situation, they would just do nice things every now and then. They'd do something really sweet. Clearly, a healthy situation or a healthy relationship doesn't have that, right? And so first of all, I just want to let you know that this feeling of being stuck, which often comes with a lot of shame, because deep down you know that like you need to get out, and maybe people around you have said you need to get out of this situation, need to get away from it, and then there's a lot of shame that comes from feeling too weak to do that, because it's a feeling of like feeling captured, like a captive. And whether you may this isn't always about exterior things either. This isn't always about not having the money. There are people who have plenty of money and resources and could get out of these situations, and they're still there. So it's not always about not having anywhere to go or anything to do. It is really something psychologically that's going on that has gotten a person into a situation where they feel they cannot leave. And so just to first of all let you know that if that's what's going on, it's, you don't need to feel ashamed about it. I just really want to help you to maybe overcome that feeling, because that feeling of shame tends to perpetuate the other stuff. But just that first of all, that there's a reason why you're having that feeling like you can't leave. You want to leave, or you think about leaving, or you start planning on leaving, and then here comes this thing, and like, do you know what I'm talking about? I know you do. Where basically something can get to the ultimate extreme of the thing you said you would never tolerate, and then that thing happens, and then maybe you're like, that's it, I'm leaving, and you start on that path, but then something happens and you see this nice side again, and you think, okay, well, maybe it's going to change now, or maybe that's really what that's the real person now coming out. The bottom line is, if this is harmful to you and you deep down know you've got to get out of this situation, and any of what I'm talking about is really hitting home for you, then, and again, it can be hard to even start looking for help, because you know that if you start looking for help, that means you're going to end up leaving, and there's still that it's an emotional tie. It's a trauma bond. That's what Stockholm Syndrome is. It's a trauma bond that has been created through being in trauma with a person who's caused you a lot of pain. So whatever you need to do to start exploring this, I remember when I was in this, and I knew this is what was going on. I knew it was what was going on, but I still stayed. I stayed way past the breaking point, and kept trying to, be that one story where the other person and me, it all worked out, and that person got help, and my person even got help. They even knew they had issues. But the question isn't about what's good for them. The question is about what's good for you. And like, what do you need so that you personally feel safe, and so that you feel that you can get your life to a point of thriving and a point of recovery from this nightmare, because it is a nightmare to be trapped in this. So just know, first of all, you don't need to be ashamed. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You didn't know. There's reasons that we get into situations unwittingly, and but it doesn't change how worthy you are of a good life and of people treating you well. So if you'd like me to talk more about this topic, if you feel like you don't really know where to look or what to do next, just please do some research, look into how to get support for dealing with narcissistic abuse, how to get support for leaving a dangerous situation. And if you're dealing with emotional abuse and you think it's not dangerous because you're not being physically harmed, I just want to tell you, emotional abuse is just as damaging and just as much of a hindrance to your life. And just because no one can see the wounds and the scars and the beatings because they've been verbal or emotional, doesn't mean they're any less effective and have not impacted you. So please know that you are worth whatever needs to happen in order for you to be safe. You're worth whatever needs to happen in order for you to have the support you need. So I hope that you'll reach out either to me or other professionals who know what this stuff looks like. Yeah, so I hope this is helpful. I hope that maybe you'll do some more reading about it and learn more about this trauma bond, this toxic cycle, Stockholm syndrome, and that it will maybe be the first step on a path towards healing, towards recovering from what you've been through, and that you, in the end, remember that you are worthy of love and respect. So, hope this helps, and I wish you lots of strength and lots of love. Till next time, love you. Bye.